as we go through these Wi-Fi transitions, it traditionally takes about 3 years to go from your first launch to when that new technology, let's say Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E, to get from introduction to greater than 50% of the mix. We're seeing in Wi-Fi 7 that's happening actually faster. We're actually ahead of that 3-year pace at this point. We think it's going to be somewhere in the 2-year range, 2.5-year range from launch.
Hey, this is Martha DeGrasse here again for Wi-Fi Alliance, and this is The Signal, our podcast where we give you the inside track on Wi-Fi. We are here at CES 2025, and we are delighted to welcome back Eric McLaughlin. He is VP of the Connectivity Solutions Group at Intel. Eric, welcome back to The Signal.
Thanks, Martha. It's great to be back. I always love being here, and it's really hard to believe it's been a year.
It has been a year, and you all have been very busy, and just in the past couple of days, you've had some announcements. I think it was yesterday that you announced the new Core Ultra Series 2 processors. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
You bet. This is an extension of our initial launch of the Ultra 2 series, which the consumer launch was later in 2024. So now here in 2025, we extend that series to add a group of new processors for different applications, including gaming systems, desktop systems, corporate systems, etc. So these are all AI PC-based capabilities. So we bring, with AI PC, they bring a combination of CPU, GPU, and NPU, the NPU being the neural processing unit, which allows different types of workloads for AI to be run on these AI PC systems. One of the other great things that these systems are bringing, besides the AI capabilities and enhanced performance, is ultra great battery life. So
great.
I happen to have one of these systems in my possession, and out of the box, getting 23 hours of battery life with that system, which is huge. So really excited about these AI PCs and to extend Intel's leadership in this area. In addition to that, of course, have great connectivity. So all of these are enabled with integrated Intel Wi-Fi 7. So really excited to see that get integrated. This was a really good inflection point, not only for the PC, but to bring in an integrated solution, which is lower cost, higher performance, better power consumption, and battery life is also enabled through our integrated solution. So that combination, we think, is going to make these a real inflection point for the PC market.
Absolutely. Yeah, because even when a lot of the processing is on device, a lot of the inferences need to be communicated somewhere else right away, and that's where Wi-Fi comes in, right?
Correct. Yeah, we see Wi-Fi as being important for multiple reasons when it comes to AI. So the first is, as you described, which is not all workloads are local.
Yeah.
Some have to go to the edge or the cloud or wherever to get the processing done, to get the engines lit up, etc., get the data back and forth. So a really good, high-speed, very robust connection is essential to making those off-site workloads happen in the right amount of time. And if they don't happen in the right amount of time, you end up with potentially some data problems, right? You don't get a full use of the model. You may get some irregularities in the results. So Wi-Fi is, especially Wi-Fi 7, with all of the capabilities that it brings, including MLO and other things, to really enhance
multi-link operation.
Yeah, in order to enhance the experience and the robustness and deterministic behavior of that connection, are vital to making those workloads accurate and timely. In addition, we think wireless is super well positioned to be part of the AI evolution in a variety of ways. One in particular, which we announced several things last year, is our Intel Connectivity Analytics solution.
Okay.
So Wi-Fi sits on the edge of a platform. It's the first place data comes in, the last place data goes out. So we see everything that's happening on the network. We see what's happening in the application. We see what's happening in the OS. We see what's happening with all of the Wi-Fi connections that are happening. So you can take all that data, we compile it, and we actually create insights based upon that data and can feed both the raw data as well as the insights to another party. For example, one of our recent announcements was Extreme Networks, where we give them the raw data, we give them the insights, they put it into their AI solution, and at the end of the day, you end up with the ability to tell an IT shop, for example, in an enterprise environment, that this is a driver problem, and you solve it in seconds, not minutes or days. So
before
we're pretty
anybody
excited.
even notices it,
yeah,
probably.
Before it even gets noticed. So we published a white paper this year. Intel IT actually used this capability and published a white paper where they talked about how just using this capability for 6 months, they were able to see driver issues being resolved in seconds, not minutes, and broader issues, bigger issues that are happening across for example, AP placement issues, where they're not getting the right coverage for an enterprise. Those are solved in seconds or minutes, not days. So really cool stuff where Wi-Fi is actually helping itself to be healed and to be fixed much more quickly. So pretty exciting stuff. We think Wi-Fi is very well positioned for AI.
And particularly, I guess, Wi-Fi 7 is more capable of some of that self-healing.
Correct.
So last year when we met, you said that you were busy on the show floor talking to many, many device makers to try to encourage them to be loud and proud about Wi-Fi 7. So give us an update. It seems like things have gone pretty well in that regard.
Yeah, we had traditional, as we go through these Wi-Fi transitions, it traditionally takes about 3 years to go from your first launch to when that new technology, let's say Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E, to get from introduction to greater than 50% of the mix. We're seeing in Wi-Fi 7 that's happening actually faster. We're actually ahead of that 3-year pace at this point. We think it's going to be somewhere in the 2-year range, 2.5-year range from launch.
So we're already a year into that.
Yeah,
right?
We're already a year into that.
Okay.
We're on this year in 2025, we'll launch our third Wi-Fi 7 solution. We continue to enhance the capabilities, drive costs down, drive performance up, and this will be Wi-Fi 7 R2. But yeah, we have hundreds and hundreds of designs shipping this year. All of the Intel Lunar Lake, all of the Intel Meteor Lake designs for AI PCs, Arrow Lake, HX for desktop, all of these platforms ship with Intel Wi-Fi 7.
That's great. Are there any AI use cases that you think are going to spark demand for these AI PCs?
That's actually, I think, the big thing that has to happen in the industry as we move forward. So where Intel's focused over the last year or so is not just delivering the platforms that can process and do the work of these workloads, but to work with ISVs around the world to recalibrate their software solutions to take advantage of having a CPU, a GPU, and an NPU available to them. I was talking to someone the other day that said, well, we have this cool new AI PC, and I look at the NPU and it's not being used. I said, great. What application were you using? And they said nothing. And I said, well, then there was no need for that NPU to be used at that point. So the great thing is you've got all these choices, and these ISVs, hundreds of them, have come and re-architected Adobe, CrowdStrike, some of the big ISV names in the world are re-architecting their solution to take advantage of these various processing capabilities, depending on the workloads that they're running. So we need to move from we have the capability to this is how we're going to process the capability to the next phase is this is how it differentiates your experience as a user. So that's what I think is going to happen a lot in 25 is we're going to move from being capable to actually delivering an experience that's different. And I'll give you kind of a potential example of something we're working on. So Bluetooth audio is getting more and more important on PC platforms. Always been important on a phone. It's getting more important to PC platforms. Why? I don't know about you, but my laptop is my primary communication device anymore. I take more calls on my laptop than I do on my phone every day. So we're investing a ton in making that connection for not just Wi-Fi, but make the Bluetooth connection better. And we're working on a capability that uses AI to factor out all of the ambient noise around you, go beyond ANC, and get to a point where regardless of what device you're using, we can use AI to enhance the audio experience you're receiving on a call. So those are the kind of things that I think will really drive how AI is used to enhance people's day-to-day experience.
Yeah, that's a really good example. It's definitely something that people need. You mentioned Adobe. So if you're using Acrobat, would AI be like reading what you're uploading and giving you ideas, or how would that work?
Yeah, so I'm not as in depth on all of the specific applications, but on Adobe, if you're a creator and you're creating content, the capability is you're able to generate AI inference-based content in a much better, quicker way because you can run that model locally as opposed to having everything have to go out to the cloud.
Okay.
Right?
All right, good. All right, let's switch gears from AI for a minute. Virtual reality has been getting a lot of attention lately, and Wi-Fi 7 has made a great impact there. Can you update us on Intel's involvement?
Yeah, we continue to see AR and XR as a really good place for Wi-Fi 7 in particular to benefit the experience. I think last year here we talked about how we launched with Meta and Microsoft and Intel, the HMD experience. We continue to enhance that and move that forward. We're looking at and working with other vendors on other AR, XR type experiences. I think one of the analysts online said something that AR and XR are always like 1 year away from being big, right? Or 1 year from being mainstream. I do think we're kind of still in that space, but I do think that we're going to continue to see, with the enhancements that we're able to deliver with Wi-Fi 7, you're going to see true AR experiences and XR experiences happen. For example, on the Meta headset, you can do your PowerPoint work in that environment. And you've got the ability to wirelessly work and have your entire desktop setup be in the HMD, your multiple monitors, and you can have as many monitors as you want in order to make this work. You move things around, you focus in different areas. It's really, over time, going to enhance the ability of people to do work, especially those who are using multiple input and output devices. So that's only possible if you have ultra-deterministic, low-latency connection, which is really only available with Wi-Fi 7.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you've seen so far or that you're looking forward to here at CES 2025 that you want to make sure to call out here?
I wish I could say yes, but I've
just gotten here, right?
Most of my time in a conference room so far. So, but reading what's going on, tons of cool things happening in the automobile industry where Wi-Fi is again playing.
Did you say the automobile industry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
lots of enhancements to IVI and in-vehicle experiences that are going to be wireless related.
So cellular and wireless? I mean, It seems like automobiles need
most cars have today, especially the higher end brands, have multiple wireless solutions already in them. They've got cellular, they've got Wi-Fi. My car has a Wi-Fi hotspot in it, so you can have people connect to Wi-Fi, and then there's a cellular modem in there that you can actually, get out to the internet. So, I think automobiles is a place where Wi-Fi is going to continue to play a role and get a more and more major role over time. That connected experience, and again, with the enhancements on Wi-Fi 7, we're going to see, I think, a lot more automobile, industrial places where Wi-Fi traditionally was maybe used for access, can also be used for sensing as we move forward. Proximity detection, gesture control, those kind of things over time, I think, will come in. So great start this year in a lot of those places, but I think the next 2 to 3 years will be pretty big.
Oh, absolutely. And finally, do you have any updates for us on the integration of Wi-Fi with private cellular networks?
Yeah, we're actually seeing that happen a lot more than I think people expected at the beginning. I know, Intel was also in the cellular business, and so we have all those radios. And we were hearing on the cellular side, cellular private networks are going to kill Wi-Fi. We're not going to need Wi-Fi anymore. And now pretty much every edge product has cellular coming in, Wi-Fi going out. It's just a much more seamless, traditional, cost-effective model to deliver a network like that. So we see a lot of synergy there, and we see a lot of moving forward. We think that the spectrum sharing, the ability to seamlessly move on and off either of those networks with all your devices that have both radios will be enhanced. And so private networks are real, but they're not killing Wi-Fi. They're actually really utilizing Wi-Fi.
Complementary.
Yep.
All right, Eric McLaughlin, VP of Connectivity Solutions at Intel. Thank you so much for making time to be on the podcast today.
You bet. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And that's our show. You can get the signal straight to your device through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and of course at the Wi-Fi Alliance. That's y-fi.org. I'm Martha DeGrasse here for Wi-Fi Alliance. Thank you so much for listening. Please join us next time on The Signal.